So, okay, so we're going to start with Liddy. Liddy, good to see you again. So you said, I've decided to go full speed ahead with a variation of the niche we spoke about during the hub semester last year. I'm doing 100% natural, chemical-free, and dark staining henna for brides who've plucked up the courage to leave abusive and dysfunctional homes, have done the hard work on themselves, and attracted a healthy partner, and are having a smaller, more intimate wedding or are eloping. They love henna. They really want a good artist who's easy to work with. In 3 words, their island A is want a good fit artist. Their island B is good fit artist delivers. I've laid out the message on my website. My question is, how do I tie henna in with their new normal so that they know I'm the right artist for them? How can I craft a message that would help me get booked straight away? Feel like my message is disjointed, even though many of my absolute favorite clients all have a common thread of successfully leaving abusive situations and love henna. I'm also ready to reach out to people because I'd love to get bookings soon. Would you be comfortable having a quick look through my webpage? Love to hear your thoughts on it. Yes, absolutely. Just put the link in and I'm happy to take a gander. So here's the first thing that I would say about this. I think that henna for women who have left abusive relationships, I don't even know if you need to wait until the wedding necessarily, though I think that could be one of the occasions that they would likely hire you. But there's something kind of rite of passage, like, hey, if you've left, an abusive relationship and you just want to celebrate and kind of mark this transition in your life, this can be a way of doing it. Certainly, and there may be other situations too. And maybe they moved out of that situation, physically. Maybe maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe they've had a child. I don't know. But there may be other moments. I think a wedding is a beautiful one, but there may be others. So I just think that's a very powerful connection, henna, for women who have uh, had the courage to leave abusive, dysfunctional homes. This is a celebration of that hard decision. You may be estranged from your family now. You may, you've had to make some very tough calls. You may have lost your friends in your community. So this is celebrating that courage. Yeah, I think that's beautiful. And also, if you broaden it, I mean, normally I'm saying narrow, but I think if you broaden it a little bit, then you may start a relationship, and when it's time for their wedding, then you're likely to be booked by them. And also, if you broaden it just a little bit to that, I think it gives you the potential to say there's a bigger why. So let's talk about this idea of there's sort of island A, there's island B, but there's also this bigger why. And I invite everyone to just consider what this might be for you as I'm talking it through here. So for me, the bigger why for my business is all about restoring the beauty of the marketplace. That I feel like so many of the marketing and sales tactics they're so ugly. They're so they just make the marketplace a much uglier place to be, and I'm trying to help restore the beauty of it. Because I don't think it's an ugly thing, the marketplace, people getting together to share the beautiful things they've come up with and help each other. I think that's a beautiful thing. Just not the way we do it for the most part. And so for Liddy, there's something about rite of passage. There's something about celebrating these transitions. Yeah. And so for all of you, here's the question I'd invite you to just reflect on for yourself. What is your work really about? At the end of the day, at the heart of it, what is your business really about? If you had to say it in a sentence, if you're just going to write down a sentence for yourself, no need to put it in the chat. But I guess we could say, yeah, what is your business really about? Feel free to put it in the chat if you want, no pressure. And we will take a look at Liddy's website, so I'll do that. But while I'm doing that, feel free to answer that question in the chat. What is your business about? Because for Liddy, if it's about rite of passages, then we can expand it beyond henna. which may be helpful. Um, because then what can Liddy share on her social media page? All sorts of stuff about rites of passage and transitions, about big milestones in our lives and the importance of celebrating those. That henna is the way she's chosen to do that, but there could be a lot of content aside from that. So I could imagine changing this for women who've courageously walked away from generations of family dysfunction and who want to mark the occasion. Though this could also be for a page. You could have a page just for weddings. So this could be unchanged, but be not the homepage, but a specific sales page. Hey, is it your wedding? And then you speak directly to that. But this is great. I mean, my gosh, beautiful. This really says who it is. Right? You created a new normal that takes guts and grit and deserves to be honored. Yeah, exactly. Right. Atsugi. Yeah, right. This is beautiful. I love this too. I would love to have the honor of contributing a little more gold to your map. What I like about that and what I lift up is it's just a humble, it's not overstating it. It's just, hey, I just want to contribute a little something. Nice. That's good. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's so ornate. It's incredible. Wow. Okay, then here I am. I'm Liddy. This is gorgeous. I can already tell I love it. Yes, yeah. Okay, right. Right. I've heard these things from past clients that made me furious. They went to get a Mendes design done. They had promises about it staining them super dark, but it ended up looking a weak orangey color and faded quickly. Didn't have the level of elegance and finesse they were looking for, to put it politely. Um, they had one of those enormous bulbous chemical cones from the shop used on them. It kept flopping over and it smelled horrible. Some clients even got burned by the chemicals in these cones and it left scars. Damn. They inquired other artists, but their bridal Mendy artist ruined their design or just didn't show up at all. Great, right? Hey, it could be bad. This is what we call the industry frustrations, right? So it's like, where are people jaded or cynical about your industry? Where have they had bad experiences? Because if you can say, hey, I know what those are, and here's what I do to deal with it, you know, yeah. Any of this happening on such a symbolic day is a sacrilege. Yeah, I'd rather spend money on a wedding outfit, a photographer, and Mendy artist, and my honey. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Look at all that. So beautiful. Okay, I mean, basically, this is great. You've done a fantastic job of this. Yeah, Liddy, it wouldn't surprise me with this if you didn't get, flown around to other places as you get known. I could absolutely see you being brought in for weddings in a lot of parts of the world. I mean, God, have you ever seen such, holy crow. Okay. So I got no big feedback on this other than it's fantastic. Keep going. Um, but the major takeaway for today, I'd say, is really focus on this bigger why. What is this about? Why does it matter, this marking of transitions to rites of passage? What do you believe about that? Not just what do you believe about the art itself, but what do you believe about the need to celebrate the sanctity of these moments? Why are they so sacred? Yeah. So that's the thing to think about and keep writing about. To dive into the point of view about that and keep sharing your point of view about that. There's in terms of there's a logical chain of things. The first case that needs to be made is that these things should be celebrated. That's the first case. Because if they don't buy that case, they're not gonna spend a bunch of money on this. But if they can say, yes, I agree, a big moment like this, a big triumph, a big accomplishment like this should really be marked in some way and celebrated, great. You know, then it's like, hey, this is one way to do it. But also, you can start to feature other ways to do it. You say, hey, there's a lot of other ways to do this. You could also get yourself a tattoo. You could also, um, I don't know, take a trip. You could write a poem about it. You could go on an overnight trip somewhere. You could do a fasting, vision quest. There's all sorts of ways. So if people start to know you as somebody who talks about the importance of marking these rites of passage, then um, it just gives you a bigger context to share in. It also gives you the ability to partner with other people who may be doing interesting things, or like, hey, I'm partnering with a photographer and a life coach or something, and we're going to help you really mark, or a ceremonialist and ritualist, and we're doing this day long thing. We're going to get you the um, all beautifully decorated. We're going to get it photographed for you, and you're going to be taken through a bit of a ceremony and a ritual to let go of the old and in with the new and really seal it in. And we have a woman coming in to do a sealing the bones ceremony, and there are all sorts of things you could do in interesting partnerships, which could expand your reach. But again, the challenge is, so the Mendy is a boat, yeah, and it's what you do. And if the only thing you do is talk about that, you sort of run out of things to talk about at a certain point. There's just no more to say about I mean, you could talk about the history of it. You can talk about what materials you use. You can certainly, you should be sharing the photos of your work constantly. But I would just say for all of us, you can add the bigger why stuff too and talk about that. And sometimes that's the most popular stuff. Now, I'd ask people, so, why do you really do what you do? What's your business really about? So, service and education and empowerment, honoring the transition and transformation that birth brings, and support empowerment for new parents, helping healthcare workers process their emotions from of their intense work and bring enchantment back into their lives. So, to me, what I hear, this is really about bringing enchantment back into their lives. Um, Tessa said, bridging the transition of teenagers from childhood to adulthood and empowering the parents and teachers with skills to support them. Yeah. And with a lot of these, what you can do is you can keep digging deeper. You could say, okay, so it's about bridging and transition of teenagers from childhood to adulthood. Okay, why does that matter? Who cares? What's that really about? And empowering parents and teachers with skills to support them? Well, why? Who cares? What's that about? You can keep digging. You want to keep digging until you find something that's a zing for you. Like, oh my God, that's it. And somebody else may share it with you. The restoring the beauty of the marketplace. That was my friend Mickey. He shared that with me. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so thank you so much, Liddy. Beautiful work as always. Keep going. It's wonderful.
Thanks, Ted. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right.